Cool.
This is Fago Franklin III, and I'm here with a special guest, U.S. Junior Olympian Marcus Chambers. First and foremost, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm well. Appreciate you having me on here. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man. Sorry for the little janky signal and stuff like that. So, but we got
Man,
you
it be like
here.
that sometimes. It be like that. We all good, man. Don't trip.
We all here. So, first and foremost, tell me how you're adapting with the COVID-19 situation. How are you getting activities done?
Well, luckily right now I'm in my hometown, Tacoma, Washington, and with me being a professional athlete and having some connections, I've been blessed to be able to have a couple places where I can go. So I do have a track to go to get some workouts in, and also I have a friend that runs a gym to where he could open up to me to where it's just me, him, and my coach, to where we could stay distance, and I can also just kind of get my work in, and we clean our equipment and do all the things that we need to do, but I was able to still work out. And so I'm definitely thankful for that. But that's kind of how I maneuvered. But right when COVID first hit, we took basically a week off, especially when the Olympics got fully postponed. Like once we kind of
Mhm.
got that word, that was it's devastating. And so we just had to take a week. We had to regroup and then come up with a plan to move forward. And so we did that. And so, yeah, we're good to go. And I've had the facilities that I need to get my workout in. And worst case scenario, I do my stuff at the crib.
So,
Hey,
what
yeah.
obstacles did you have to overcome in your journey,
In
just
my
in life as
journey,
well as your career?
uh, overall, I mean, at some point you're gonna hit some type of adversity. And for me, like one of my major moments was my transition from high school to college.
Mhm.
And I got to a very low point my freshman year because my body just wasn't adapting. Like I was in a whole new city. I was, college. So that means you don't have your coach on you all the time or your parents kind of telling you what to do. I had that freedom and I had really had to learn how to maneuver it and understand priorities. And just because if you want to be a state champion, if you want to be an Olympic medalist, if you want to be a national champion, or any of these things that you say, you got to be able to make some sacrifices, and you also got to put in the work. And so for me, I had to make those sacrifices, but also my confidence was on the all-time low my freshman year. And so finding ways to be able to figure out how
Mhm.
can you gain that confidence back, and for me it was understanding my why. Like, why am I even doing this sport? Why am I at this college competing at the highest level? And so for me, I really had to reflect, especially after that freshman year, and like, okay, why? I'm doing it because
Mhm.
I love the sport. I'm doing it because I want to be a national champion. And I have this dream of being an Olympian, and this is the road to being that Olympian. And so why am I going out here in the summer working my butt off when I'm not racing anytime soon? And so sorry, excuse me. But once I kind of found out those
Mhm.
things and I kind of put those reflections, and every day I could kind of see those whys and those goals that I had, that's what kind of brought me to be like, okay, I can do it. And also, I'm very thankful because at the end of the day, when overcoming obstacles, a lot of times we try to ball it up, be quiet about it, and just try to figure out ourselves. But I actually finally got to a point where I reached out to my high school coach, Pat Boyd, and he kind of was just in my corner, kind of being that support system.
Mhm.
And so knowing that I had that support definitely helped me out, if that makes sense.
Oh yes, and since you're based out in the Seattle area, what does it mean to you with when you see all these different marches going on as far as the Black Lives Matter movement? What does it mean to you? And tell people about your personal experience with dealing with racism and being discriminated against.
So I mean, I'm from Tacoma, and so in Tacoma it's a lot more calm. So a lot of our
Mhm.
marches have been a lot more calmer. So we really gotta. It just wasn't Seattle. Like Seattle, especially at first, got real crazy and a lot of destruction and all of those type of things. And I'm not. And at the end of the day, like I understand people's anger and how they
Mhm.
just. Everybody reacts different ways, but for me, I personally have not been in Seattle. I've stayed in Tacoma where we've done our calm protests, and for me, just being a Black African American in the United States of America is rough. And
Mhm.
so I've been through some discriminations and some racisms, and been in some neighborhoods where I definitely haven't felt welcome and certain things like that. But at the end of the day, I just try to be around my family, friends, and my support system, and just try to ignore those things, because there's
Mm,
only so much that you can do, and understand, like, where you're at. And so I had to understand, okay, I'm in this city or I'm in this neighborhood, and just let me get out. Like, I don't put yourself in a position. Like, don't
mm,
be driving around late at night in a neighborhood you're not supposed to, because you never know. And yeah, I've been pulled over too, and you gotta listen. And at this point in life, man, you can be scared being a black man getting
mm,
pulled over, but it's just something of, you just got to be aware. And I really hope in the near future that society finds a way to just make some equality and make things more comfortable for an African American, because right now it's real rough. So that's my just on things. But I have not been in Seattle. I have been protesting in Tacoma though, and it's been a lot more calm and peaceful. And I think it's helpful.
how do you actually have these type of conversations with people of other cultures and races?
How? I mean, I feel like it's easy when one wants to understand. When,
Mm,
like, if one really wants to have their head up and their ears open and be willing to listen, that's when the conversations can actually come. The struggles for someone who doesn't understand and doesn't want to understand. And so for those type of people, that's when it all starts, and it'll become an argument or it'll become a battle. And for
mm,
me, like, if I have to argue with someone about equality, or why this is what we go through and this is what you don't understand, but they just don't want to hear it, it's never, the confrontation is not going to resolve anything. So it's really just trying to find the people, because at the end of the day, well, the
mm,
world's the world. Some people are going to want to be a part of it, some people aren't. That's why you see people from different races going to some of these marches and stuff like that. There's a reason, because they're willing to listen, they're willing to open their eyes and understand. They might not be black, or
mm,
but they can still support what we're going through. And so for me, it's just trying to find the people that fully understand, and then you can have
mm,
the understanding conversations. But the people that just head down, don't care, they're happy with their lives and don't care about others, like, this, at this point in time, I personally don't know what we can do. And besides argue, but arguing doesn't get nowhere, and it just leads to
mm.
arguments, fights, and certain things. So it's a tough situation. It's just a tough situation that we're in right now. But I try to find the people that are willing to open their eyes and open their ears and listen, and then that's when progress can be made.
What does it mean to you that people look up to you as a role model and you have a positive influence on them?
Oh, it means the world to me, because for me, being a youngster and coming up, I always said that if I do become a professional athlete or somebody that people can look up to, I'm gonna make sure I represent myself and my family and my city the right way. And I take a lot of pride in just holding myself as a humbling young man, a confident young man, a hard worker, and all the things that define me. And I find ways to give back to my community as well, and anybody that I can give advice to. So for me, it means a lot, because we didn't have a lot of role models growing up. I mean, I had my father, I had a coach here and there, but like, when it comes to other professional athletes and certain things, at least in my community, didn't really have much of those. But now that I'm in a position to be able to be one of those role models, I try to take advantage of it and go places where I can show my face, where I can speak to the youth and do different things to make sure they know that, hey, like, I'm that role model, but I'm still here for you guys, and I can do it. If I can do anything for you, I will.
Hmm. With the NBA coming back, who are your two favorite teams that you have going to the finals?
Oh man, I have the Lakers, even though part of me wants to say the Clippers, but I just think LeBron's just gonna do LeBron things. And then
Hmm.
I actually have the Celtics.
Okay, who's your sleeper team?
Sleeper team. Oh,
Ooh,
the sleeper. I have Houston. A lot of people.
why Houston?
Why Houston?
Hmm.
I just think that Russell Westbrook was on a roll, and he's one of my favorite players because he goes hard 24/7. And I just think that if they're a sleeper, like, a lot of people know they're good, but they never think they can get over the hump. But for some reason,
Hmm.
I just know when it comes to playoffs, he's gonna give it their all. And if some way James Harden can find a way to come clutch in the playoffs, then they could probably upset somebody. They have some pieces. They got rid of some
Hmm.
pieces that they shouldn't have, but They have some pieces to where they could shock Lakers, they could shock the Clippers or one of them teams.
Okay. What advice can you give young people about going towards their dreams and making it happen?
First and foremost, you got to believe in yourself. I'm somebody that lost the confidence at one point that brought me to an all-time low, and that just teared me down even more. So for them, confidence is key. You have to believe in yourself no matter what, because at some point while you're chasing that dream, you're gonna fall. You're gonna have something that doesn't go the way you want, and you got to continue believing in yourself, and you got to keep pushing forward. You got to get up and keep pushing forward, and that's something that I will tell somebody 1,000 times because it's so key. And you have to believe in yourself, and also use your support system. Don't try to do it by yourself. Use, even if that's somebody just saying, "Hey, I support you. Hey, you can get it. Hey, is there anything you need or whatever?" Take that support, take that help, because at the end of the day, we all don't want to do things by ourselves. We, at the end of the day, it's all on you. You can't just say somebody's gonna give it something to you, but you gotta understand, like, use that support system. But it comes with that confidence. And the last thing, prioritize. You got to make sacrifices to get to that dream, that top. And whether it's in business or whether it's in sports, there's certain things that you might not be able to do because you have to do XYZ in order to get there. So it's like, understand your priorities, make that plan, and stick to that plan. And I promise that you'll get to where you need to be if you stick to those things. Stay true to yourself. Don't let nobody change who you are and what you're about and what you're driving towards, because a lot of people don't have those same dreams as you. So that don't mean you can follow their footsteps.
And my last question is, what is three qualities that describe who you are as an individual?
Who I am, I'm a hard worker.
Hmm.
I am a community guy. I love my community and I love giving back. And the last word, I mean, I'm I'm dedicated. Like a
Hmm.
hard worker, I'm a giver back to my community, and I'm dedicated. Like the dedication, I believe, is the the root to what's helped me get to where I am today, because you have to be dedicated. You have to stay to your plan, and you can't let nothing phase you. And the last word, even though you only ask for three, is a leader. I do believe that I'm not a follower, and I try to lead people, whether it's on my team or my community or anything. I do believe I try to lead people in the right direction.
And there you have it, everybody. Marcus Chambers, thank you for allowing me to converse with you. It's been a pleasure, my friend. I look
Yes.
forward to seeing great things from you, my friend.
Hey, I appreciate it, my guy.
All right,
Thanks.
now have a blessed one.
All right, you too.
Yes, sir. All right, now.
All right.